Welcome back to Real Reddit Moments, where we explore stories of friendships tested, boundaries crossed, and am I a bad person? Questions that will make you think deeply about the value of trust. Today, we're diving into a deeply real and heartbreaking story that raises questions about the boundaries of generosity, the importance of responsibility, and whether a good friend should take advantage of another person's kindness. The story is titled AITA for letting her borrow her vacation home for free, but then charging her for utilities after she left a huge mess behind. Was OP a calculating friend, someone who did the right thing to protect her assets, or someone who put a friendship in jeopardy? Find out and let us know what you think. This story comes from Reddit user FriendshipTestOP. We'll call her OP, a generous vacation home owner. OP owns a beautiful vacation home in a popular tourist destination. This home is where OP and her family often go to relax and enjoy vacations. OP has a longtime close friend, whom we'll call friend Sarah. Sarah knows about OP's vacation home and has expressed her desire to visit it many times. One day, Sarah was having trouble planning her vacation. Out of kindness and wanting to help her friend, OP made a very generous offer: let Sarah and her family friends borrow the vacation home for free for a week. OP made it clear that they didn't need to pay rent and just needed to leave the home clean and tidy as when they got it. Sarah was extremely happy and thanked OP very much. She promised to take good care of the house and return it in perfect condition. After Sarah and her team returned the keys, OP went to the vacation home to inspect and clean. OP was prepared for the usual mess, but what she saw left her completely shocked and disappointed. The house was in an extremely messy and dirty state. There was trash everywhere, dirty dishes piled up in the sink, even with smelly leftovers. Bedsheets were not folded and thrown around. Surfaces were covered in dirt and stains, and the bathroom was unacceptable. It was clear that they had not made any effort to clean. Furthermore, OP also noticed that they were using electricity and water wastefully, with bills skyrocketing abnormally. OP felt angry and betrayed. She had generously lent her home to you for free, and in return, she had shown a blatant disrespect for her property and the trust she had placed in Sarah. OP had to hire a professional cleaning crew to clean the house, which was not insignificant. She also had to pay a much higher utility bill than usual. After adding up all the costs incurred due to Sarah's messiness and waste, OP made a decision. She would not charge Sarah the rent as promised, but would charge Sarah for all the additional costs, cleaning, and excess utilities. OP sent Sarah a polite but firm message, attaching a statement of expenses and explaining why. OP said she had generously lent her home for free, but Sarah had disrespected her property and left an unacceptable mess behind, causing unnecessary expenses. Sarah reacted very strongly. She was angry, saying that OP was too much, calculating, ruining their friendship, and trying to get money from her. Sarah claimed that OP had promised to lend the house for free and that charging for utilities and cleaning was a betrayal of that promise. She denied leaving much of a mess and claimed that OP was exaggerating. The argument escalated. OP felt completely justified in asking for compensation for the damages and expenses incurred due to Sarah's fault, but was accused of being a tough guy by her own best friend. Seeking confirmation and advice, OP posted her story on Reddit, asking the community, AITA. OP's post exploded on Reddit, garnering tens of thousands of comments and hundreds of thousands of upvotes. The thread touched on one of the most contentious issues in friendship, whether generosity comes with responsibility. The vast majority of the Reddit community sided with OP, insisting that she was in no way a horrible person. They emphasized that generosity does not mean allowing disrespect. NTA, 1,000 times NTA. Free rent does not mean free cleaning and messing around. That's blatant disrespect for your property and your kindness. She took advantage of you. You are completely justified in holding her accountable for her actions. This comment received tens of thousands of upvotes and multiple Reddit awards. A true friend would never leave your house in such a state. Sarah's actions show that she does not value your friendship or kindness. This is a test of friendship. Sarah failed miserably. You were generous, but she ruined it with her irresponsibility. Don't give in. Free rent is a favor, not a license to trash your house. Those who leave trash should pay to clean it up. I'm a landlord too, and I understand your pain. It's your property, and you have a right to have it returned in acceptable condition. This is a reasonable request. A few comments tried to offer a more balanced perspective, or suggested clearer communication from the start, or pointed out the OP's small mistake. Nah, maybe you two weren't clear on the cleanup expectations from the beginning. Sarah may not have thought it was a huge mess, the way you thought it was. However, charging for utilities afterward may have been confusing to Sarah. This comment is often disputed and gets fewer upvotes. ESG, if they can't handle this in a mature way. Sarah was wrong to leave a mess, but OP could have been more clear about the cleaning rules and utilities before lending. Criticize the narrator. These are extremely few, often centered around the OP changing the terms after promising to lend for free. YTA. You promised to lend for free and then charged. That's like changing the agreement after it was all done. That's not fair. You should have charged from the beginning if you were worried about the costs. This comment is often strongly refuted and receives many downvotes. In addition to the comment 1,000 times NTA mentioned above, another comment has also touched the hearts of many people and caused an emotional storm because of its profound analysis of the nature of friendship and respect. NTA. Friendship is not a blank check for you to take advantage of the kindness of others. You have offered a great favor. The fact that Sarah left your house in such a state shows that she lacks basic respect, not only for your property, but also for you. You do not owe her a free vacation plus your cleaning costs. Stand your ground. This comment received thousands of upvotes and awards, highlighting the importance of respect in friendship. The Reddit community not only gave their verdict, but also actively engaged and expanded this thread into many deeper discussions, offering advice and sharing personal experiences. Lending borrowing rules, discussing the importance of clear contracts or agreements when lending valuable assets to friends/family. The value of friendship versus money. A debate about whether money should ruin a friendship and whether setting boundaries is more important than maintaining a false peace. Red flags of exploitation, highlighting signs that a friend is taking advantage of your kindness. Experience lending your house, car, furniture. Countless similar stories about lending things and the consequences. User responsibility discusses the basic responsibilities of anyone using another person's property. Overall, the Reddit community has been overwhelmingly supportive of the OP, viewing her actions as necessary to protect her property and goodwill. After receiving overwhelming support and insightful advice from the Reddit community, OP has found strength to cope with this difficult situation. She has provided some important updates on what happened next and how she feels now. Summary of updates. Sarah still refuses to pay. Despite OP sending a detailed statement of expenses and explanation, Sarah is adamant that she will not pay. She maintains that OP is taking advantage and calculating. Severely damaged friendship. OP and Sarah's relationship has seriously deteriorated. They are no longer on speaking terms. OP is upset, but does not regret her decision. Lesson learned. OP has learned a hard lesson about lending out valuable assets. She will never again lend out her vacation home for free without a clear contract and a cleaning/utility deposit. Support from others. Several mutual friends and even OP's family sided with her, agreeing that Sarah had acted disrespectfully. Feeling validated. The support of the Reddit community helped OP feel validated that she had done the right thing, even if it meant losing a friendship. OP now feels both saddened by the loss of the friendship, but also relieved and empowered that she stood up for her assets and values. She understands that a true friendship cannot be based on disrespect and exploitation. Despite the loss, OP believes she learned an important lesson about how to set boundaries and protect herself from people who might take advantage of her kindness. She is ready to face the next challenge with more assertiveness and less naivety. OP's story is a great example of the challenges of balancing friendship and protecting property, as well as the boundaries of generosity. It highlights core issues of respect, responsibility, and the importance of clear communication. Conflicting emotions in the story. OP's. Initially, generosity and trust. Then disappointment, anger, and feeling betrayed when witnessing the state of the house. Finally, determination, sadness for losing a friend, but also relief for protecting herself and her property. Friend Sarah's. Possibly initial innocence, irresponsibility, or naivety. Then anger, feeling offended, and feeling blamed when being charged. Reddit communities, from outrage for Sarah to empathy for OP to reasoned analysis of ethics, friendship, and responsibility. The Reddit community, in this case, served as a strong support and voice of reason. When OP felt isolated and criticized by her friend, the community provided a space for her to share her story and receive empathy and validation. Receiving an overwhelming NTA verdict helped OP strengthen her confidence in her decision. This proves that Reddit can be a place to seek understanding, support, and helpful advice when dealing with complex, personal, and social issues. Character analysis. OP. Narrator. Represents a generous and trusting host, but also values respect and responsibility. She demonstrates the ability to set boundaries when her kindness is taken advantage of. Friend Sarah. Represents a friend who may lack awareness of the consequences of her actions, lack responsibility, or tend to take advantage of the kindness of others. Lessons learned. Generosity must be accompanied by responsibility. Kindness is not a ticket to exploitation or irresponsibility. The recipient of a favor must also be responsible for respecting the giver and their property. Disrespect is a friendship killer. Leaving a mess behind after being loaned for free is not only irresponsible, but it is also blatantly disrespectful and can destroy a friendship. Communicate clearly from the beginning. When lending or renting any property, whether to a friend or family member, it is essential to establish clear rules and expectations, including cleaning and utilities, from the beginning to avoid misunderstandings and conflicts. Setting boundaries is necessary. Sometimes protecting your property, values, and self-respect requires you to set firm boundaries, even if it may strain a relationship. A good friend will not take advantage of you. A true friend will appreciate your kindness and will never intentionally take advantage of you or make things difficult for you. Learn from your mistakes. OP has learned a valuable lesson about protecting her assets and will be more careful in the future. OP's story is a clear example of how in life we are constantly faced with situations where our kindness and generosity can be put to the test. It is a poignant reminder of the importance of respect, responsibility, and setting clear boundaries in all relationships, including friendships. It is a call to always think carefully before lending or accepting a favor, and whether we are willing to shoulder the responsibility that comes with such generosity. What do you think of this story? If you were OP, how would you handle this situation? Have you ever encountered a situation where your kindness was taken advantage of? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Thank you for following Real Reddit Moments. See you in the next story.